What if I told you that everything you thought you knew about fasting could be wrong? Imagine spending weeks, maybe even months, fasting in hopes of losing weight, only to find that you're sabotaging your progress and your health. In today's video, I'm going to reveal 8 shocking truths about fasting that most people never tell you. Some of these might surprise you, and some could even change the way you approach fasting forever. Stick around because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to fast the right way, and avoid the mistakes that could wreck your results. First off, let's clear up a huge misconception that's been floating around: the claim that intermittent fasting increases your risk of heart attacks by a staggering 91%. Sounds alarming, right? But here's why you shouldn't worry. This study is deeply flawed. Out of 20,000 participants, only 414 were actually fasting. That's a tiny group compared to the over 11,000 people eating regular meals. The study also found that 27% of those fasting participants were smokers, far more than the non-fasting group. If you know anything about heart disease, you'll understand how smoking skews the results. Plus, this was an observational study, meaning participants were simply recalling what they ate, not exactly the most reliable method. What's even more telling is that most other studies on fasting actually show the opposite: improved heart health markers and even longer life expectancy. So don't let sensational headlines fool you. Fasting, when done correctly, is shown to have protective effects on the heart and overall health. Now let's talk about one of the hardest things to deal with when fasting: hunger. If you've been eating 3 square meals a day for years, it's totally normal to feel like you're starving when you skip breakfast, lunch, or dinner. But here's the truth: most of the time, it's not real hunger you're feeling. It's your body's response to habit and emotional triggers. For example, if you're used to eating lunch at 12 p.m. every day, your body will release hunger hormones, like ghrelin, around that time, even if you're not truly hungry. It's all psychological. The good news? Your body adapts over time. If you stick with it, you'll find that those cravings become much easier to manage. Your body starts using stored fat for energy, so you're not as reliant on food to feel satisfied. But that takes time. Don't give up too soon. Here's another myth: fasting automatically leads to fat loss. It's not as simple as just skipping meals. The key to fat loss is creating a calorie deficit, and that doesn't happen unless you're careful with what and how much you eat when you break your fast. If you fast for 16 hours, then go on a binge of high-calorie foods like pizza and ice cream, all that work will be for nothing. This is called compensatory eating. Your body craves more food after fasting, so it's easy to overeat. The best strategy is to eat nutrient-dense, low-calorie foods like vegetables and protein right after your fast. This will keep you full, help reduce cravings, and prevent overeating. Remember, it's about creating a calorie deficit, not just restricting eating time. Speaking of breaking your fast, here's something that's often overcomplicated: what to eat after fasting. You've probably heard a lot of conflicting advice, like you have to drink MCT oil or avoid vegetables right after a fast. But that's all unnecessary. Here's the real deal. After fasting, your body is going to be hungry, so your first priority is to satisfy that hunger with healthy foods that fill you up without loading you up with extra calories. Vegetables are a great choice because they're low in calories, high in fiber, and filling. If you're worried about digestion, just cook them instead of eating them raw. Follow that up with protein-rich foods like chicken, fish, eggs, or lean meats. This combination will help you manage hunger and keep your metabolism fired up. Once you've taken the edge off with veggies and protein, you can move on to other foods. Don't overcomplicate it. Break your fast with foods that make you feel good and prevent overeating. A huge mistake people make when fasting is not staying hydrated. When you're fasting, it's easy to forget to drink water because you're not eating. But dehydration can lead to fatigue, headaches, and dizziness. Even if you don't feel thirsty, you still need to drink water throughout the day. And if you're doing an extended fast, you might need to replenish your electrolytes too. Electrolytes like sodium, potassium, and magnesium are crucial for maintaining fluid balance and nerve function. If you're fasting for a longer period, you may experience muscle cramps or headaches from electrolyte imbalance. For short-term intermittent fasting, just make sure to stay hydrated and consider adding a pinch of salt to your water if you're feeling off. Another thing people often overlook is the risk of nutrient deficiencies. Sure, skipping breakfast or doing a 16:8 fast won't lead to issues right away, But if you're fasting regularly and not eating nutrient-dense foods during your eating windows, you could miss out on important vitamins and minerals. Common deficiencies include iron, calcium, and vitamin B12, which are essential for overall health. If you're doing longer fasts, you should be especially mindful about eating a variety of nutrient-dense foods during your eating window, like leafy greens, lean meats, fish, nuts, seeds, and whole grains. Supplements can also help fill in the gaps if needed. Now let's talk about something that scares a lot of people: muscle loss. The truth is, your body is far more capable of preserving muscle during a fast than we previously thought. As long as you're eating adequate protein during your feeding window, your body will prioritize fat burning over muscle loss. But here's the caveat: the longer you're in a calorie deficit, the more muscle you may lose, especially if you're not getting enough protein. So how do you prevent muscle loss? Focus on strength training to signal to your body to preserve muscle, and ensure you're eating enough protein. A good target is about 1.6 to 2.2 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight per day, depending on your goals. Many people wonder, can you exercise while fasting? The short answer: absolutely. In fact, some of your best workouts might come from fasting. Initially, you may feel sluggish or low on energy, but your body will adapt over time. After a few weeks, you'll find that you have plenty of energy during your workouts, sometimes even more than when you've eaten. Your body draws on glycogen stores for energy, even while fasting. So don't let the fear of fasting on an empty stomach stop you. Fasted workouts can actually help burn more fat while preserving muscle. So there you have it, 8 things about fasting that most people don't tell you. Fasting can be a powerful tool for health and fat loss, but only if you understand these key principles. Don't just rely on the fasting window itself. Focus on what you eat, stay hydrated, and prioritize protein and veggies. If you found this video helpful, make sure to subscribe for more in-depth tips on fasting, nutrition, and fitness.